Welcome back, everyone, to episode 6 with Bren Franklin and the Normans now. We've entered the exploration era. We're going to hop right into the game here. Looks like we got our cog, which is a ship, ready to get out into the coastal tiles here. And we're going to continue to move our cog out. It can now enter the open ocean. We're going to go ahead and cross and try and find the other landmass over there. We do have 3 open capacity for cities. There's a little bit of land that we can settle in this strip here. Alternatively, we can settle on another continent if we so choose. Egypt is asking for a cultural exchange. We're going to support it for 120 influence points. They'll grant us plus 12 culture per turn for both of us. And while we're thinking about that, let's take a look at our research collaborations. We'll grab those where we can. Not certain why we can't form an alliance. Your relationship is not good enough to form an alliance. Okay, so we need to get our relationship up with Egypt again. Let's spend a little bit of influence to improve our trade relations here. And we'll leave it at that for now. Let's take a look at our production in our capital. We have a brickyard or a bazaar that we can drop. Both are giving us pretty good yields at the moment. I think I'm inclined to grab the bazaar for the gold output. You can see the city has negative 7.7 gold. That's really what's hurting in our capital. And yeah, let's grab that bazaar. And I think I'm going to drop that right here. Our cog took some rough seas, it said, which further damaged it. Minus 15 health, it looked like. More rough seas, minus 13 health there. It does look like there's a shipwreck. I'm not sure if there's a benefit for us to step on that with this ship, but we're going to find out. Hopefully it doesn't continue to take rough sea damage. It does. I think we're getting close to half health, and we're 3 turns away basically from getting onto shallow coastal tiles. So yes, this is almost like a tribal village on land, just out at sea. So there's 2 options here. We can help circulate the findings, plus 300 happiness towards the next celebration, or 120 influence. I think we're going to take the happiness here, plus 300 versus 120. We're making plenty, we're making plenty of both, but let's do some math. 120, so that's 4 turns of influence, or 300. Yeah, 300 is a much better deal. It's closer to like 5 or 6 turns there. And it looks like when we plundered that, it also healed our ship back to full health. It's at plus 42 health, although we did just take a net minus 11 there. We have our Golden Age to select our Theocracy bonus, either 20% culture for 10 turns or 40% production towards civilian and support units. I am thinking that I'm going to take the culture this time around. With that being said, we are opened up to 3 policy slots over here now, and I'm going to take plus 30% influence towards initiating sanctions. We're trailing in technologies, we know that. We need to get both our science and our culture up per turn. Looks like we're finding a little bit of landmass here. I want to get onto the shallow sea tiles just so we can stop taking that damage, and then we can explore wherever we choose. We have a diplomatic relationship with Egypt to make a selection in. Either support, accept, or reject. I'm going to support this one, plus 12 gold per turn for both of us. We are dwindling away our influence pretty quickly, but I don't think I'm too concerned. I really enjoy being having an alliance with Egypt, and we can get that now, so we'll pick that up again. She's my favorite neighbor in the game so far, and she's on both sides of my borders here. She's on the south side and the north side, and she's our closest border as well. We have a narrative choice. 2 options are plus 2 production on Colosseum or plus 2 happiness on Colosseum. I'm thinking I'm going to take the production. And the cog, let's run him across.
Most spectacular, complex, but fragile ecosystems in the world.
Fantastic. We found the Great Barrier Reef. I love this animation. I'm not certain that it's going to spawn like this every game, but with the volcano and the mountain in the background, it looks pretty cool. So now that this cog is over here, looks like he's out of movement, but I think we're going to find more land this way than we would have down here. Maybe it's a peninsula, I'm not certain, but just felt lucky if I went to the north, and at least we discovered the Great Barrier Reef. We finished our technology in astrology. Let's take a look at our tree here. sorry, astronomy is the tech there. And we can grab cartography. It's going to give us some food benefits. Same with machinery as well as production. I think I'm going to grab machinery there. That'll take us 8 more turns. We have production again in our capital. The observatory looks pretty good, +7 science. I'm going to drop that up there. We can also repair this damaged plantation. I'm going to grab that first since it'll just be 1 turn. And we also have to assign some resources. We've only got 1 spot to plug it in, but if I look at this, it's plus food. Is there anyone hurting for food? What is the benefit of ivory? Happiness and production. Well, production's worse than food in that city. Doesn't look like it. We can maybe move this fish, but that's also food. So let's plug it into our capital. We took some damage on our units in the capital city here with that flood. We're going to get them healed back up. Our cog is going to continue to push the boundaries over here. This is going to be interesting. When I select next turn, I want to see if he takes rough seas, because he's technically in a 1-tile deep ocean or open ocean tile surrounded by coastal. And if he takes damage, that means any open ocean, so any open ocean tile, this unit will take damage from it. Just keep that in mind, even if you're going to sit in 1 tile for 1 turn. Back in our capital, after we've finished our repair of the plantation, we can repair the arena. I think that's worth it. 1 turn into that. We don't need to shuffle any resources there. Let's get you back into shallow coastal tiles. I'm going to move up 1 more tile, and then I want to heal up just a little bit at least. He's kind of at like 50% health, and that makes me worried. Now that this army commander is healed up, let's look at what we can use him for. So we can assemble an army, gather adjacent land units to form up on the army commander, fortify, defensive perimeters. Okay, is there anything we can promote here? No. So even if there's no points, it will show you like it's not grayed out. I guess I would expect it to look more like this if you couldn't promote, but it's not. Just keep that in mind. You might or might not have points to use, but it's just going to show up there anyway. I'm going to put both those guys back on alert. We finished our civic there. I'm thinking I'm going to swap this +20 production towards overbuilding, +3 combat strength. Yes. So I'm going to plug this one out, plug this one in. And with that going on, let's take a look at our city-states that we could potentially befriend. So Venice, let's see where they are at on the map here. Venice would be strategic. Samarkand, also strategic. Let's see. Let's grab Venice first, befriend. That's 170. Oh, it looks like, yep, we're working towards that. Harriet Tubman is not happy with us, and that is okay with me. Let's also take a look. Samarkand, 170, sure. Remember, we're going to get a benefit for each one that we befriend in this age, and so let's grab them when we can. I'm shocked that there's still so many opened up. Oh, it looks like we lost. Oh, no. We lost one of our neighboring city-states. They're just gone. Their defense is still there, but they've evacuated out. Interesting. Let's take a look at our civics tree here. We've got economics or inspiration. I think I'm inclined to do economics. It's 3 turns quicker, and it's starting the rest of that civics tree there. Okay, our cog is healed up now. And remember when I said I felt lucky that this was going to be more land up here? I was wrong. We found a pretty small island. I assume this is also an island, though. I'm thinking from here, I'm just going to run and continue out to the east. I know it's out into the open ocean, but hopefully we find some shallow seas before we take too much damage. Harriet Tubman wants to decrease our relations with other leaders. If we accept, it's 0 influence, and your relationship will decrease by 60 over 10 turns, or will cancel for 120. I'm going to cancel because I really enjoy being allied with Egypt. In our capital, our production is open again. We can either build these Serpent Mounds, +3 science and 2 production to all unique improvements in the settlement. Must be on grassland. That's not bad. Not bad at all. I'd also like to get into some of these military units for this age, but let's see. Temples +6 happiness. We've got several areas we can drop that at. The observatory. I think this is going to help us the most catch up in science. We're going to grab that +7 down in that district there. We're starting to crank out a little bit more science and culture per turn. We're at 69 science and 76 culture. Our cog took damage as expected. I do see the promised land over here with some shallow coastal tiles. We've finished machinery. We have a town to grow. Took a really awkward path to get me over here. But I'm thinking I'm going to grab this +4 tile here, the +2 food, +2 happiness. And, well, I wonder, can I... This is lighting up green as if I can grab it. I'm going to try clicking on it, even though it's not in my borders. I thought it was actually claimed by someone else. It was not. Interesting. Now the city, I think, fell. I would have sworn that the borders took up that wonder, but hey, I just grabbed a +9 food wonder tile, and also grants +1 culture and production. Let's take a look at our tech tree here. We've got cartography remaining, or we can step up into tier 2. Let's see if there's any wonders locked further up. I think I'm most interested in getting to education, so let's grab cartography, and we'll start pushing towards education, and that'll increase our science output. In this town here, is there anything worth buying? I would say no, because the cost to convert is 200 gold. Everything in here costs much more than that. I mean, some of these buildings are 20 gold more, but like the sawmill 700, the stonecutter 700, 800. Let's convert this to a city. We have the gold. We're at 1300 even after converting, and we're making 73 a turn. That feels pretty good, and I'm wondering what other civs are making at this time in the game. I think I'm going to push immediately for the observatory here. That's going to grant 6 more science, and that feels like that's just going to goad us into this age, popping out a bunch of science so early on. We've got one more turn of taking damage with this cog, and it was a big one. Rolled a 19 damage on rough seas there. It's unfortunate, but we are in the clear now. At least we should be. Let's just immediately heal. Looks like we met a new civ down here, Lafayette, trade ship. Cool. Looks like we've met a French player here. Let's take a friendly greeting. And we can grab another research collab. That just feels silly not to do. We've got 250. That would cost me 120 influence. Not going to be stealing anything from them yet. Let's do it. We have a narrative choice to select from Venice, which is they're granting us 250 gold. Thank you. We have another narrative choice, another 250 gold. And another narrative choice. Our two options here, plus 125 culture or plus 125 science. Ooh, I think I'm going to have to take culture. We did take a culture hit for some reason. I think we were close to like 70 plus per turn. We're down to 46. So it's more worth me to take culture because I'm struggling to produce that now than it is science. Let's also keep that in mind for when we're building in these cities, if we want to grab a culture festival or maybe a building that will produce more culture. Up here in our capital, I think Sawmill is pretty good. What was the plus 10? Oh, plus 10 food. Wow. We're at 44 food. Interesting. That's a lot of food. I'm thinking I'm going to grab the Sawmill mostly for the science. I think it's plus 2 science, but the plus 6 production is only going to help me build my next building faster as well. We have a significant blizzard occurring. That's over in Ostia. We need to grow our capital. Again, the specialist tiles just aren't very appealing to me. This is... No, I take that back. This is the best tile. It's plus 6, minus 4, so it's really netting me plus 2. I think I'm going to grab one of these other tiles, and this one looks pretty good. 3 food, 2 happiness. There's no resources that I'm not sitting on, is there? Nope. Yeah, let's grab this one. I lied. Let's grab this one. Plus 1 food, plus 2 production. That's going to culture bomb these 2 tiles into our territory, and this one is also a plus 5 in the future. We need to look at Ostia. We need to either repair that farm or we can buy some buildings up here. We could alternatively convert this to a city, and that sounds pretty good to me. For 350 gold, let's think about it for a little bit longer. I mean, I'm not going to buy any of those. Let's convert it. And now we need to be careful. This city is separated from us, and we don't want to lose something that we've paid and we're going to be putting turns into. So keep that in mind. Let's repair this farm, even though the blizzard's still going on. Hopefully that doesn't re-break it. And we have our town to grow down here in Corinthos. This plus 4 tile, plus 4, several plus 4 tiles. I'm hurting in culture, so this wouldn't be a bad one. I'm going to stick with the plus 4 tiles though, and I don't know that it mattered between the two. We'll close up those borders between our 2 cities there. And let's repair this fishing boat knocked out by the blizzard. And Corinthos is down to 200 gold. I think that is ready to convert as well. I'm not certain if there's a benefit to be converting all these towns to cities at the moment, but for as cheap as they are, and I can start dumping turns into them instead of gold, it just feels like a no-brainer. I'm thinking the first thing I'm going to plop in here is a stonecutter, and we've got several options for 7 and 2. Is there anywhere observatory? So I want to avoid this for the observatory. And Bazaar plus 6 gold. I'm going to start with the stonecutter and just place it in any of these other districts. No resources. I'm not sure why that keeps saying to look at my resource page when I don't have any new ones. And now we're growing Argos. And this is a no-brainer. I'm going to grab this tile here, plus 1, 2, and 3. Our production in Ostia is ready to go. Stonecutters, tempting, temple. Could also grab a cog for 8 turns and send it the other way around the world. Would be nice to do. I think... Let's see. We're not hurting for food, production, gold. Okay. Let's grab the observatory here for now. We might grab a cog next turn up there, or next time. Argos is 900 bucks to turn into a city. That is not worth it just yet. And I think I can live with everything waiting down here. This cog is almost full health. Let's start exploring with it again. In fact, it looks like it is full health. I would have sworn that it had a little bit of missing health, but evidently not. Production in the capital is opened up again. Is there a wonder? Serpent Mounds? No. Let's take a look at this grist mill, and let's exchange the 3 food for 10 food. And we need to reassign the worker that was previously on that tile, and it's going to go towards this lumber tile here, the flat desert. Grant us a lot more production, and we're already replacing the missing food with food from the grist mill. One more move out of that cog there. We've finished economics in our civic tree. It releases maritime law plus 30% production towards training naval units. I'm going to leave everything that I have. No, I take that back. I'm going to take out the 30% towards sanctions, and we'll plug in maritime law. Let's take a look at our civics tree. And in our civics tree here, it's 23 turns. Let's start with inspiration. We're going to continue to move. Well, no, we can't. We've run out of ground to use the shallow coastal tiles past Lafayette. I think I'll just go back down the other way instead of getting out into the rough ocean again. I'm really in it for, well, it'd be nice to circumnavigate the world, but really in it for finding wonders and other players. We've finished our tech in cartography. Hop into the tree again here. We've got 2 opened up masteries, neither of which I'm too tempted by at the moment. I think to get to education, I'm either grabbing guilds or feudalism. Let's start with guilds. We can now grab our city-state bonus for Venice. There are several great options here. I think I'm torn. I think it's really either territorial claims, plus 5% gold for every city-state you are suzerain of. Spice Islands gives me a closed resource in the capital and also provides plus 6 food and plus 10% gold. Or Company Post, which is a unique improvement, and each one grants plus 4 gold, plus 1 food, and 1 production. I think I gotta take Spice Islands, I think. It's gonna grant me some of the gold, but it also gives me a resource. We also have another suzerain bonus down here in Samarkand. And it's pretty much the same options minus the close, which is great. And so I think I'm between the two, either territorial claims or Company Post. I think Company Post. Right now our gold per turn is down. So we'll get a better boost out of the post improvement. And here's that improvement. Yeah, plus 4 gold in our city here of Corinthos. I think what I'm going to do in Corinthos is going to be the observatory, though. We'll drop it on that plus 7 tile up here. And we're at 80 per turn now. We've got our cloves we need to plug in. And we're going to plug that into... Well, wait a minute. We want to plug it into a city... Whoops. We want to plug it into a city that's getting a lot of gold per turn. So, Argos is 20. And that's our highest one. Okay, so let's take out the fish from Argos. We'll put the cloves in. Oh, we can't. Interesting. I'm not certain why we can't. Maybe it's because it's a town and not a city. Okay, so what city is going to benefit us the most? And that's Knossos. We'll plug it in there. I lied. Ostia has 1 more gold per turn. Just trying to maximize that benefit as best as I can here. Our cog has some movement left. We're going to get into some new lands to explore now with them. Let's take a look at our production. This is in our capital. We're down to 3 buildings to build here. And I think I'm going to try and grab the Serpent Mound in our capital here. The question is, where do I want to place it? We've got 51 food, so this plus 4 food wouldn't be a bad spot for it. I think that's going to be because it grants me 1 science as well. So we'll drop it there. Knossos is ready for its next production. We can grab the wharf plus 6 food. We need to get production and science up in this city. So let's look at the stone cutter. And we'll drop it in our... Wait a minute, I thought that was our capital. Oh no, it's not. Okay. Yeah, let's drop it here on the river then. Continue to sail our cog around. We've met a new civ. Ah, Augustus Caesar. We'll use a friendly greeting here. I think we skipped out of it for some reason, so let's take a look at Augustus, what we can use with him. Do we want... Yeah, we'll grab a research collaboration with him. My thought process behind that was, do we want to use it somewhere else? But we'll leave Egypt behind for now, I suppose. We have a celebration to choose from. Again, it's either culture or production. With our culture being down now, I'm going to take the production to overbuilding. We have an open policy slot. And I think that's going to go back towards influence for initiating endeavors. We'll confirm that. Our cog is ready to move around again. Egypt is looking for another cultural exchange, and we'll support it. Grant us 12 more influence. Sorry, not influence, culture per turn. Getting back up there to the 64 per turn. We have narrative choice here, 2 options, +1 influence in all settlements, or +50 influence 1 time. I'm going to take the +1. We've got 5 settlements, so it'd be 10 turns we'll make up for it. This cog is going to be out of movement without getting into the open ocean. Let's see if we can grab open borders. It's 1 turn basically of influence. Augustus Caesar takes it, so we'll stay in the shallow, safe waters for now. Really wish it wouldn't close out if you weren't out of movement, but just continue to click back into them. Now it's looking like I probably didn't need open borders with him. I only would have been in for 1 turn. Well, 2 turns maybe. But it's okay. We've already made back that influence.
The master and apprentice love the mine.
We've finished our tech here. Let's look at the tech tree. We're down to 7 turns for these techs here. I think we grab guilds. I take that back. We already have guilds. I want feudalism here. We have production open in Corinthos. I think this is our opportunity to take another merchant. It's going to take us 1 turn and it'll create another trade route. We've finally broken over 100 per turn in the science category. And I think we're feeling that right now with our tech tree. Corinthos has finished our merchant. Let's take a look at Guild Hall, I think. It's going to be our next best building. We'll plop that right there in our capital. And Knossos up here needs gold. Let's take a look at the outpost. I think we're going to drop it on that mine or the farm. Let's drop it on the farm, I suppose. And Ostia is ready for production as well. It also needs a gold boost, so Guild Hall is looking favorable. Let's go ahead and grab that Guild Hall. And our best option is a pretty good tile to lose. 2 production, 1 culture, and 2 happiness. Let's go for it, I suppose. We also need to grow the city because we took out a tile that we were working. And I'm thinking we grab one of the fish tiles, so I'm just going to blindly grab this one here, kind of solidify that northern extent of our borders. We have our merchant ready to go. And I'm thinking I want to trade with someone in Egypt. And I think that answer is down here. Let's send our merchant down there and we'll create the trade route once it gets there. Kind of got lucky, sent him into the fog and managed to land on a shallow coastal tile, thank God. Not that the damage is hard to overcome, but it is just annoying to be healing so frequently. Machiavelli wants us to decrease our relations. I'm going to say no. It's going to cost us 120 influence. We can grab another research alliance, and I will with Egypt. I'm a little bit upset that she managed to get a settler. I should have been on it, so I'm only upset with myself, but she did manage to get a settler out onto the Great Barrier Reef Island, which is disappointing, and also reminds me that next time we have the opportunity, I'm going to grab a settler and send them out onto one of these islands. We've got 3 settlements to use, might as well use them. Looks like Ostia is ready for expansion again. It is. And I'm going to grab this +5 tile up here. Oh, I miscounted. I thought we had secured all our tiles up to the north. We haven't. We can take this row of tiles still. Good to know. We're going to support +12 gold for both of us. That'll bring us up to 19 per turn.
Our creators sang to us in the wind and the running water, in the bird songs, in children's laughter, and taught us music.
We just finished the Serpent Mound, and this wonder looks awesome. First off, it's refreshing to see that it's not a building. It's actually just the mound itself, and it just looks like nature in the middle of my capital up here. Love that wonder. I think this is a great place to call this episode, so we're going to finish out this turn, and that'll wrap up this episode. In our capital, we've got production open now that we've finished the Serpent Mound. And a company post looks great. It's going to grant production, gold, and science. Let's see where the best spot for that would be. And I think I have an early front runner. That's going to be this +1 food, +2 production tile. We also have production in Knossos. I think I want Knossos to make me a wharf, so we're going to place that down here. I do want to look at making a settler. So before we call this episode, let's see what can I do to get myself a settler. Not certain why it's not showing up. I had noticed that it wasn't showing up in my other... so this is our new unique settler unit here. I'm just going to gold purchase it since I have the gold. And then that means next episode, I'll be able to come down here and settle hopefully on these chocolates. Until then, thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you're enjoying the content, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. We'll see you again.